Hello everybody and welcome to the Golden One channel. Thank you all for being here, those who have come, and I honor you all. So today we are going to be doing one facet of what this channel is going to be about, and that's going to be about card readings. I am really fascinated and passionate about pulling cards for people. It's not something I do very often because I usually use my psychic abilities to tap in and work with people that way, but I do really enjoy using cards, and this is actually a great way where I can expand on that for myself and reach people who I may never even come in contact with in any way, shape, or form. So my goal is always just to help and provide support and guidance with love, and all in ways that's for the highest good of all, always. So that is my intent here today. I'll just say a grounding prayer, a protecting prayer real quick. I've already done this off camera, but I will do so on camera as well. Typically what I do is I imagine a pillar of white light surrounding me and my experience and my physical and energy bodies and the energy of the cards themselves. And I always state that only that which is for the highest good of all may come through any reading that I do, and that applies to this reading here today. Thank you, and let us move on. So the way this all will work is essentially you, as the viewer, will choose which stack of cards here you resonate with. And if you resonate with multiple, great, then both of those messages for you, or bits and pieces of each message is for you. But essentially choose one stack, and the intention of this particular video today will be just overall guidance. It's gonna show a little bit about where you're at, it's gonna show a little bit about how you're doing, and it's gonna show a little bit about overall guidance on where to aim your arrow, so to speak. So that will head through that way. It's going to be a mix between intuitive, and I'll also be reading the handy oracle card decks, or books I should say, that come with a little bit more information. I won't be reading every word, but I will be reading the words that I am guided to read off through the books. As always, with any reading, I think it's important to note, whether it's with me or anybody else that you receive a reading, is that it's important to just, take it all in as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. No harm done. Just leave it there. But if it resonates with you, then give it more thought and feel into it, see how it feels like for you. And if it's guidance, then figure out how you can apply it to your life. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. So start on the left hand side here. We're gonna start with 1, and then 2, and then 3. So if you only resonate with maybe 2 or 3, or whatever you decide, whatever you feel like is right for you, go ahead and feel free to skip to the part of the video where I begin that section. Now this is the top card, and the rest of the cards that I have pulled in each section I have not seen, so it's just going to be totally intuitive, rapid fire. Let me move these back. Actually, don't think I'll be needing them, so I'll move them away for the time being. Okie dokie, let's get to it. So, stack number 1. Let's go ahead and put these to the side. Okay, so first thing that we see, it's a very beautiful card. We've got beautiful castle-like structure. It's in the clouds. The name of your card is called Midhaven, and then the subname, or I guess category, or whatever you would call that, it says Pinnacle. It's card number 36. If that resonates with you, sometimes the numbers are important when a card reading, sometimes they're not. So you feel into that to see what it feels. We have a sun in the background, really bright, very vibrant. We got birds flying around. And what this says to me, it says that you're in a very beautiful place. You're in a very uplifting place. And not only that, it's also a sign that you might be heading to a beautiful place, like a high point or like a golden age for your life, essentially. So this is what this card is telling me here. To gain a little bit more context, we're going to pull this next card. So this says, let me turn it over, give without expectation. However, it's upside down, which I do want to take that into account. A lot of times card readers will do this, more particularly in tarot. If you're a card reader, you can do any which way you do this. I think that there's always nuances and there's always little details that sometimes be overlooked. I could have very easily turned this card over and, right side up and read it that way. But I think there's always meaning behind it. And I pulled it, I didn't look at it, and this is how it came out. So, gift without expectation. So I think since it's inverted, the meaning behind this card here today is that maybe you're giving too much and expecting. So maybe it's, instead of doing that, you have to flip that into giving without expectation. Or for example, maybe you're expecting too much, but you're not giving any. So there's, up to interpretation. I'll let you decide on that. But essentially, that is what that card says. I wonder if this is in order. So this is supposed to be the first card and it's building up. So maybe these are key details, maybe to get to here, this beautiful card, or if you're here to continue down this path, you have to follow through this deck of cards to kind of help guide you in a way that's fully aligned with your, with your current path and the things that are important in your life. So, I will read off my little handy dandy book for card number 36 over here. I feel like that one is important to read off, and now is the time to read that. So let's go ahead and pull out the book real quick, and we'll do that. Okay. The Midhaven contains clues about how your family trained you to be visible in the world, your relationships to other people's authority, and how you step into your own personal authority. It describes the future mountaintop, the pinnacle of your work in the world. The Midhaven is the highest point at the chart, where the sun would be at midday. This most public, visible point of the chart acts like the flagpole on top of your personal castle. So, very similar to what I said before. The part I'm actually guided to read, there's 3 parts here. There's an action section, a challenge section. Essentially, action means what you need to do to attain this card, I guess. Challenge would be what are challenges for you that you might run into, and gift is more of like your reaping of the gift that this card has brought to you. So I'm guided to read the gift section only. So the gift. Underneath all worldly sense of ambition is a soul's longing to live out its potential. Listen to the call, which I love that because I highly resonate with following your life purpose and being divinely guided or being guided or whatever, or guiding yourself in a path of which that brings you more love, more joy, more happiness in your life, and more, more wholeness to your life. And the only way you're ever going to do that is if you follow what we call as your life purpose. So, with that being said, we're putting that here on the left side. I'm guided to do that. So next card, again, inverted. It says, accept struggles as lessons. So maybe, since it's inverted, it could be meaning that there are lessons that you're not accepting at this time, that are struggles, but you're kind of like, it's like trying to fight the current, essentially. You're going upstream when you should just be riding the direction of the flow of water. That's what that tells me. That's about all I'm guided to say, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. These are going to kind of create like a great foundational base to what we're doing here with you know, it's probably going to end up being a triangle. I love triangles. I love pyramids. It's all my jam. So why not create this beautiful collage? So the next card here is of my dragon deck. This one's called Pure White Dragon from Orion. Transforms your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. It also says, process what you know, act with truth and honesty, let your wings of light grow and expand. Now, this is a new deck, so I haven't really broken in very much, but I will tell you that this feels like a very powerful card. It feels like a very bright card, a very, you know, light-filled card that's filled with power, ambition, light, driving force, and motivation. And ascension, it says it right here, transform your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. So it's like the apex or the peak here in this card, that's like you're transforming what you've learned and known, putting into action, which then leads you to the peak point. That's essentially what I'm feeling off of what the overall message is going on here. So that card's going to go here on the left. The next card we have is from pretty much it's like a crystal deck. It shows different crystals and their meanings, and they're beautiful cards. They got this really cool like rose gold lining on the sides. They're gorgeous. So number 13 is the number of this card. It is calcite is the crystal that's in the center. Resonates with the energies of the moon, and it also resonates with the energies of transition. So this may mean if you're a crystal collector, you might need to go find yourself some calcite in your life. It looks like it could be an optical calcite. The picture that's on here, I also work and sell crystals as well, so I'm pretty well versed on the different types, and this looks like an optical calcite to me. Now, what's different about this here is that it's not just calcite stone and that's it. You got some clouds here in the background reminiscent of this card. Beautiful rainbow light here. We got the moon with a crescent shape here. I'm not sure what the moon formation is but that might be significant for you. It's the one where it's only a really small portion of the moon is being shown. We got a butterfly, which is very powerful symbolism of transformation and transmutation. And then here at the bottom, it looks like there's like a cocoon, like a cocooning. So going through a metamorphosis, going through a transition or transformation. You got some beautiful greenery there. I'm not really feeling much off of that, but that's what I'm getting off of that card. So this deck, my second favorite deck of the whole thing, I will turn it around for viewers' sake. It is number 21, and it is called The Gatherer. And this one I will read off the book full on through. That's what I feel like I should do. It is inverted, but in this particular case, I do feel like this one is probably gonna come through in the book as needed. So let me grab that real quick off camera. Page 20, number 21. Okay, one more. And again, like the other book, this has 3 sections. Read them real quickly. We got the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. So essentially what the card means, actions to be taken in the invitation, and the medicine, it's like how can you heal from the energy of this card, or work, how can you work on shadow work or things like that. So the essence, before we cultivate gains, we collect, before we cultivate gains, we collected the wild bounty of nature. The gatherer finds abundant seeds, nuts, berries, and wild greens, where the ordinary person sees only barren soil. So this is like the energy of a businessman or an entrepreneur. If you've been thinking about getting, starting a business or working towards being an entrepreneur in your life, this energy really resonates with that. So continuing on, it says the gatherer is the provider, the forager, and the gardener who collects roots and vegetables for the long winter when game is scarce. She does not hoard, trusting the bounty around her. That is the essence of the card. The invitation of the card, or the action to take that pertains to this, it says, look at the resources you already have close at hand. This is a time of abundance. Everything around you is ripe and ready for harvest. Banish the notions of scarcity that have limited your choices and colored your destiny. Pack your food for winter and start with the low-hanging fruit that is all around you. So this particular section, I am shown in my third eye while I was reading, back in its inverted state, as it were there. So maybe it means kind of the opposite of what this is saying. So it's saying, look at the resources you already have close at hand. So maybe it's saying, maybe there isn't resources close at hand that you have to look at. Maybe it's working with what you got already, or have worked with, I guess. Not necessarily what you currently have, what you have worked with. In working with those previous resources, how to, maybe that knowledge you have learned before, or long since past, that is really essential and valid in your life now. This is the time of abundance. So the opposite of that might be, this is not necessarily an abundant time frame, which could be, it's time to reap, or time to start planting those seeds, time to start growing, time to start putting in the labor so that you will one day reap the abundance, or that you will reap what you sow, essentially. Everything around you is ripe and ready for harvest. So again, the opposite of that would be, you're working with a fully plain garden. You have to start planting everything and growing and working the farm, so to speak, to then eventually gain the harvest. So that's about all I'm feeling guided to read about that section. So we're going to go ahead and turn it back around. And the medicine section. Do not wander too far afield in search for what Spirit has already provided. Practice paying it forward, being thankful in advance of receiving. If you are in scarcity mindset, open your heart to look beyond current conditions and you will find the bounty being offered to you. Practice sharing, not hoarding, which is resonates a lot with this card right here. The give without expectation. So practice sharing, not hoarding. Enough said with that. Anything else I feel about this? I feel like it's pretty well rounded. It's reached what the overall message was supposed to be. To me, I feel like, this is your base, your foundational base. This is where you're currently at. You've got all this pure knowledge. Time to turn it into wisdom to lead you here. You're coming from a place where there's, I guess, in a way, barren landscape, and you have to turn that into a beautiful garden. And then, a stage of transformation and transformation. So this is your base. This is where you're at. You build upwards, essentially. Now these are, I guess, what you would call lessons or obstacles or things to work on, essentially, to build up to this card. So I think this particular card, or this particular pool of cards, leads upward like this. These other ones may not. If you're following, if you're watching this whole video for some of the other sections of the other readings here, they may be a little bit different. I always allow myself to be totally guided. So for this particular set of cards, it looks like it's building up. So start at the top. This is kind of your end goal, end all be all kind of thing, so to speak. This is where you want to reach. This is your potential, reaching your peak, your golden age, your beautiful castle in the clouds with the sun shining on you. But in order to get that, this is where you are. This is what you have to do. Then you will have that. All right, so that wraps up section number 1 here with our Midhaven card number 36. Okay, and that concludes all of the card pulls I have done. I hope that you have enjoyed this card reading or multiple card readings if you resonated with multiples of them. I hope it helps you in ways that's for your highest good. It reaches all those who it's meant to reach in time, and it guides you. Even if it's a small amount, I have completed my mission. So, all with love, all with gratitude. This has been the Golden One. Thank you for coming to visit my channel. Please consider subscribing. Please consider liking this video if you really did enjoy it authentically. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.